Day
Okay,
64 solution.
We're going to start very similar to what we did last time. But it's one little hitch, and it's that double inheritance. So let's start with our character. Let's do it properly. So our character is going to have a name. It's going to have HP. So it's going to have health, isn't it? Health. And we might even start this out at a base, like a character can start with like 100 health and MP, magic points, start that at 100 as well. So this means when I initiate a character, so if I def __ init, remember self, name, health, MP. Oh, actually, we wouldn't need that, would we? Let's do that. So I do self.name equals name. Nice and easy. Print function. Make it an F string. Self.name. Put my tabs in here. List that self there, haven't I? Self.health. So that should print out the information about the character. I'm also going to add in here, if we want to change it, we can actually set it. So if we want a generic character, they'll have 100 and 100. If we want to set it manually, we can set it with this. So self.health equals health. This means I don't have to set it at instantiation if I don't want to. Self.mp equals mp. Okay, so our next character was our player, or Palya, as I've spelt it. And that's going to inherit from character. Actually, I'm just going to put a pass in here a minute to check that code runs. I haven't broken anything obvious. No, that looks okay. All the pass does is just a line that says, don't do anything, but don't crash, please. Which is a good placeholder if you're in the middle of something, you just need to run some code. So the character is going to have all this details, but it's also going to have nickname and lives. Now I'm going to set lives by default to be 3. Our init for this, so our initialization code, we'll have a self, we'll need a nickname, we'll need a lives. So remember, when I create a character by default, I'm getting 100 and 100 for health and MP. So that means I just need to set my name to be player, my nickname to be whatever the user said that character's nickname was, and then lives. Well, actually, lives is set to 3, isn't it, by default? So I can do that. Now, what I might want to do, because print, we can override that by putting it in here. We've got name, we've got health, we've got self. We can put in nickname as well. One of the nice things you can do here is you can do a def is alive. And all you can do here is you can just say if self.lives greater than 0, return true, they are alive. And in fact, we might as well print something out there. Print self.nickname. Let's make that an F string, is it? Put that in curly braces. Lives still. Lives on. There we go. Otherwise, we need to return false there. Has expired. There we go. So very simply, we've got a little function there that allows us to check to see if that player is alive or dead. Okay, so we do need to create a player character. So let's create one. I'm going to call mine Ian. Ian is going to be a player. I need to give him its nickname, Ian the Mighty. And I need to give him, was that it? That's all I need to give him. I can then do Ian.print. And I can print out Ian.isAlive to check that works. There we go. We've got his data, everything we need. We know he lives, and true has been returned. So I know that I can check to make sure that character's alive, which is great. Okay, so let's do the enemy character now. Now he inherits, the enemy inherits from character. not the player, because we don't need anything from those. Extra information is going to be the type and the strength. So that means when I init, when I create it, I'm going to need the name. What else did I want originally? Just the name by the look of it. I'm going to need the name, the type, the strength. Now we just need to extend that print function. So I'm going to pinch the one from over here. Name, health, MP, type, and strength. There we go. I don't want to create a player yet because I want to extend that as well. I'm just going to run it there to make sure I've made no mistakes. I'm seeing no errors, so that looks all right to me. I'm now going to do something quite cool. I'm going to extend my enemy from my orc. So what I can do here now is I've got type strength, and I've also got name, health, and MP already. So the only other thing I needed for orc was I needed speed. Now I need to override these two. I'm going to copy and paste these in. I also need speed for my orc. So self.speed equals speed. And I also need to print out /t strength. What have I done here? That should be lives. There we go. So I can now create an orc. Now I said I wanted to create 2 orcs, I think. So I'm going to do Sharon. Actually, I don't need... The nice thing about name here, I don't need to bring the name in for an orc. I don't need to bring the type in because it'll be orc. So I can say the name is orc. The type is... an orc might have a specific strength that I care about. So I can say an orc maybe has strength of 200. So we set those automatically. And that means I don't need to call an orc with anything but the speed of that orc. So I can call the orc with like 250 as the speed. I'm also going to do Gary is my other orc. And he can be a slightly slower orc at 205. Let's create those 2 orcs. So let's make sure I can print them out. Sharon.print. Gary.print. So I should get Sharon and Gary's stats. Okay. Lives is not an attribute that orcs have. Okay, that's true, because they shouldn't. They should have strength and speed. And they shouldn't have nickname either. So, type, strength, and speed. I see what I've done. What I've done, I hadn't changed the names of this one. So, I copied it, I got myself confused. So, there we go. What am I getting my slashes in there now? What have I done? MP, my name, MP 100. Ah, missed the T's off there. I still got my type on that one. There we go. So you can see that the speeds are different between Sharon and Gary, but all is good in the world in the land of orcs. So the last one now is vampire. So let's create my vampire, and that is inheriting enemy. So the only thing I need to add was day. Let's set day equals true to start with, and then set up our init. Now I'm going to get self, I'm not going to get name or type or strength, but I am going to get day, whether it's true or false, and we're going to do self.name equals vampire, self.type equals vampire, self.strength equals, let's see, what do I put orcs at? Orcs are 200, so vampires are a little bit, not quite as strong as orcs, but probably stronger than a player character. And self.day then is going to be whatever the user said. Let's take our print code. I'm going to have to take some of this off because they're not going to have speed, but they are going to have an identifier if it's daytime or not. So when I create a vampire, Eric, he's just going to have a true or false here. Let's say it's nighttime, so I'll put it as false. And let's then do Eric.print to print out his stats. And there we go. working like a charm. And again, you might find this a bit odd, but it is useful in the long run, promise.